It's 3 p.m. Central European time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's a time for us to start this amazing session and the webinar. So, hello everyone. Welcome here again. Welcome in sunny Prague. Well, that's exactly where I am streaming from. And I would like to welcome you to this webinar with the special topic of P3.express methodology, which is going to happen today. So, you know the drill, you know how the things are, you know that we have some technical manuals right here. So let's talk about about the technicalities, okay? Shall we? So, obviously, your mics are muted. I'm sorry, it is gonna stay that way because we are going to have a main speakers right here main speaker right here who is going to talk about amazing stuff, and therefore we need your mics to be muted. As you know, this entire session is recorded. So right after the finish, we will actually send you the recordings to your emails. So what you can do, you can actually ask questions, and that is gonna be in the Q&A section. So every time when you feel that you need to ask for it to something, just ask us. Yeah, we are gonna have two specialists in the Q&A section who are going to take care about your questions. So during the presentation or right after, because at the end of the entire presentation, we are going to have a few more minutes for your questions also. So feel free to ask us everything what you need. So the entire presentation is going to take approximately 45 minutes, and then we are going to have a 15 minutes for any kind of your questions, etc., 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 or survey. Yeah, at the end is going to be the survey as always, so don't forget about that. So, and without further ado, let me present you who is going to be our main presenter and main speaker. Let me welcome here Asli. Hello, Asli.
Thank you, Yuri. Hello, how are you?
Well, pretty amazing as always. Smiley, Prague is sunny, so I'm really happy.
Great.
So, and Asli is going to present to us, as I told you, the topic, for today's webinar. She has the amazing presentations for P3.express methodology, which she's going to talk about. So you can ask her every question which you would like to know, or every answer which you would like to know. And without further ado, I will pass now floor to her. She will introduce her Q&A colleagues and be everything amazing what she prepared for us. So Asli, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Yuri, and welcome everyone. So today I'll be following this agenda with the introductions and why P3 Express, the history, P3 Express basics, values and benefits, and the combination of P3 Express with Easy Redmine. And as you mentioned, we will have Q&A session and a survey. And so who am I? My name is Asli Alpdogan. I am a PMP certificate professional project management consultant. And I have my bachelor's degree from Middle East Technical University on environmental engineering. And after that, I did my master's on civil engineering at San Diego State University. Then I joined Black & Veatch, where I was working as a design engineer on water construction projects in Los Angeles and San Francisco Bay Area. After that, I joined Gamma Power Systems, where I was working on international construction projects specifically for combined gas power plant EPC contracts. And I was able to work in various different positions there. And during my last years there, I was able to do the digitalization of the whole company, where we were going through the processes, utilizing internal and external softwares to do so. And combination of all of these experiences in water, energy, construction, design, manufacturing, and consultancy, I decided to found my own company at 2018, which is TechVisor Consultancy. And right at the beginning, we decided to collaborate with Easy Software because we believe that the flexibility of the system actually helps us a lot while we're working with our customers. It's very flexible, so we can do any digitalization project for any industry and any need. And I am a PMP certificate since 2014, and I am pretty active at PMI Turkey chapter. We support them at their local events. And about my personal life, I have 2 kids. One is a teenager, and I love playing computer games on my spare time, especially RPG and strategy games. And I believe strategy games helps me a lot with my professional consultancy, because I can understand and strategize new methodologies for the customers. I am also a singer at a rock band, alternative rock band called White Colors. And this is all about me. And I would like to also introduce my good friends, Dilek and Sevan. I am an expert at Easy Redmine and project management, but of course P3.express was new for me as well. And they are the subject matter experts, and they provide also trainings on these and consultancy. So when they introduced me to P3.express, we decided to actually implement it on Easy Redmine and to see if it will provide some additional benefits. And I hope that you will find it beneficial after the end of my presentation. You can always contact them directly for any detailed consultancy needs on this subject. As I said, they are the subject matter experts. And they will be also joining me at the Q&A session at the end. And so here we are back to the studio. We're back to you. So do you want to do the poll now to see our audience and how they're familiar with the P3.express and Easy Redmine?
Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was just looking for the right screen right now. I got lost right here because I have so many screens right here. So yes, exactly as Asli said, we have a poll right now, which I'm going to shoot right now. So you should see 2 questions on your screen. So there is a second question. If you scroll down, or if you can see it, there are some answers below. So don't forget to scroll down to see all the answers and go for it. Answer the polls which we have prepared for you. First, obviously, is have you ever heard about P3.express methodology before? And the second one, obviously, it's are you familiar with the Easy Redmine, or also known Easy Project? Depends what software are you using. So I'm still seeing someone responding to those questions. So I'm going to wait a little bit more. Okay. Wow. Not so many people heard about the methodology, which
it's
I'm
pretty new.
surprised. Okay. Well, that's exactly why they are here for,
Exactly.
to
Hopefully
learn
they will
something
have better
like
understanding at the end of the presentation.
for sure. They will. They will.
Okay.
All right. So thank you so much for all your answers. I'm going to end the poll right now at the moment. So, and here I'm gonna share the results. You can see them on your screen. So exactly as we said, you are not that much you didn't heard about the methodology yet, but you're gonna hear today a lot of stuff. And yes, you are really well known about Easy Redmine and Easy Project. Okay, so I'm now going to again pass the floor to you, Asli, and you can start your amazing presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, let's move on. So, why P3.express? This is a very new methodology, as I said, and it is an open source methodology. The ideology is that it should be open and free for everybody's use, and it's very easy to follow, and it's designed to be suitable for real life projects. There are certain weekly and daily routines for better control. It is flexible for any size technically, but I will discuss, and I think it's more suitable for small to medium-sized projects. And it encourages stakeholder involvement heavily, and we will see why it's a time saver. This is the main resource for P3.express. As I said, it's open source. So once you follow this website, you can easily see that there is an online manual. And we will be following this manual actually throughout the presentation ourselves as well. So let's jump back to our presentation. And so where does it fall? So as you can see, we have different levels of project management methodologies and ideologies, and majority of these are actually very general advice, and they tell you how everything is supposed to be done in an ideal world. Some of them provide a specific roadmap, like things that you should be doing on a daily basis, and P3.express is actually towards this way. And you can see that there are different versions of it. There's a micro P3.express, which is like for micro smaller projects, and there are P4 and P5 for different program and portfolio management. Today, we will be focusing on the P3.express for project management, and I will show a little bit of our portfolio management capabilities on Easy Redmine. So how is this different? When we look at this, you can see that there's a cycle methodology, and it looks like an agile methodology. So how is it different than an agile? Agile cycles are more towards product development. However, these projects for P3.express are usually actually predictive projects. So you are supposed to be planning everything at the beginning. It's not like agile. But what we are doing in cycles are management items. So actually, even in regular waterfall project management, we have certain things that we do in cycles for management, like weekly meetings and others, but it just makes these cycles much more obvious, and it gives us a very easy roadmap to follow. So you know what you should be doing specifically that day, okay? And so how it differs from the PMBOK, as I said, I'm a PMP myself. So the major differences is that PMBOK is a complete, comprehensive, complex methodology. It's perfect for very huge projects, complex systems, but most of the time, companies are doing smaller, medium projects with not all project management professionals. So there are some accidental project managers who are supposed to be managing these. And so they are getting lost in these complex, big methodologies. So this one is supposed to be for simple and lightweight. Documentation is designed to be very minimal. So the ideology is 80 to 20. We're going to focus on 20% of the documentation and methodology, and we will benefit for the 80% of the project. That's what it is shooting for. The learning curve is very easy. I'm hoping that after this 1 hour, you will be very familiar with the general approach. And it is completely free. So you can just go check the manual and do everything on your own free tools, open source tools. The approach is practical. As I said, actions are in oriental cycles, and it is flexible. So you can modify this based on your project sizes and your company needs. What is the history? It's pretty new, as I said. It was published in June 2016, and there were some revisions. And then the micro P3.express was introduced in December 2022. So if you say that this is the first time you hear about it, it makes sense because it's pretty new, as I said. P3.express basics. So there are a couple of basic ideologies behind it. There are basic steps, and we will cover them all quickly. And I'm going to talk about the new principles, organization, documents, tailoring, perspective, and weekly and daily routine. So NUP is nearly universal principles of projects, and it's a part of OMIMO, Open Minimalistic Modules ideology. So there are different NUPs, and they are saying that, you know, we prefer results, and we would like to optimize energy and resources. We want to be proactive. We're trying to cover our weakest links, and we're shooting for a clear purpose, and we will use repeatable elements. The repeatable elements are critical because once you do certain things frequent enough, it becomes like a habit. So you have less resistance, and it's kind of like a second nature for you to do certain things. So these repetitions are actually helping the project management feeling like the culture to establish in the company as well. What is the organization look like? So we have a management team at the core, and these teams usually have a project manager assigned, and there is a sponsor in the company. So a senior manager is usually following this project. You may or may not have external customers. If you have a customer, you usually have a customer project manager that is counter to your project manager. And they worked in collaboration. Our production teams are made of different teams, and each team has a leader. These leaders may be also working in a functional organization, working for their functional managers. But for this project, they report to the project manager. Also, we may have suppliers. These people can be your consultants, subcontractors, material suppliers, and any of these will have a project manager on their end that will be in contact with your project manager. So it's a very basic, very similar organization for the project. Documents. So technically, there are only 4 documents that you're supposed to be producing for this P3.express. One is the project description documentation. There is something called a deliverables map. And so this is where we will define our deliverables. There will be a follow-up register where we'll be following our issues, risks, and everything else. And then there is a health register. Health register is where we will be getting our peer reviews. And peer review and stakeholder interaction is one of the critical things at the P3.express. We're trying to get these as along the way quite a bit, and I'm going to show you how they work. So even if it's an open source and everything is free and you can do everything, a tool, you will still need a tool for document management system. You will need a tool for the deliverables map, usually a mind map type of a thing for WBS and Gantt. And you will need something that to collaborate, like a chat medium somewhere that you can talk to the team members. And of course, you will need to write your comments and notes in every deliverable, in every item. So we have Redmine for these, and I'm going to show you how utilizing Redmine for all of these can actually enhance the P3.express experience. Okay, so after this, I'm going to actually jump in. So I have nice slides prepared for each step, but I think it's much more fun to go to our cycle here. And it's a very interactive cycle, actually. When you go to any point, then you can see what you're supposed to be doing at that exact location. So you can just click on the first point, read the items, what is the purpose for this, what are the common pitfalls, which new principles this one is shooting for. So we are starting with appointing the sponsor, appointing the project manager, appointing the key team members, and describing the project. So right now we are initiation of the project. Project is still at the planning phase, as we can decide. And let's go to Redmine for it. So this specific area has been created for P3.express workshop that we are doing. So it's a demo slide, and I just did some implementation to make it look more familiar for P3.express projects. The good thing about Redmine systems is that we support waterfall projects, we support agile projects, we do hybrid projects, and P3.express is maybe one of the project managers will try to do P3.express, and we can allow each and every project manager to do it on their own way. And we still can get portfolio and program level reports. So in this case, I am a project manager. I'll try my first P3.express project. So I will go to the projects. This is a new project. We can do the projects from scratch, or I can use a template. And I will use a template because this will come with all the basic setups that I have done for this webinar. So when I select the webinar template, all I need to do is actually just change the name. So webinar sample. And then I can put this in my project tree. There are certain areas where I will be filling for my project. So I don't need to fill them right now. They are pre-filled for this example, but you can just later on go back and fill all of these. The critical thing at this point is the start date of this project. Let's say that our P3.express project is going to start on the first weekday of February. And I would like to be author of all of the tasks in the template because I am creating this project as the project manager. So now I can see my new project, and let's go back and check what we will be doing in the new project. Appoint sponsors, project managers, key team members, okay? So once the project is actually up and running, we are at the settings page. Here I can write the description, requirements, and expected benefits. These are all the areas of the very basic project description document that, one of the documents that you're supposed to be preparing. So by filling these here, I can always reach this data in the database at the portfolio level. So what is the purpose of this example project? The goal of this project is to adapt an online timesheet application that 450 field workers can use to collect data faster and more accurately. Then I have my requirements and expected benefits, etc. So now I have the project. I'm going to assign myself as the project manager. And now I will add my team members. So I will go to the module members. And on this project, I have already added the members to the template. So maybe you have the same typical team of people working on all your P3.express, so you can just use these people, or you can always add or remove people. When you're adding somebody to your project, you can always select what role you want those people to be in this specific project. For example, you might have another project manager like Yeri, but I want him to be in my project just as a peer reviewer maybe, or maybe he is going to help me with the management, or I can decide that he will just be a team member. So we are very flexible, and all these roles can be definitely changed based on your company permissions. So I have my team here. I have my customer project manager. I have my team members. I have a couple of peer reviewers. I have the sponsor, so very limited role that they can come and see what's going on in the project. I have my supplier account. They can come and update all their own tasks if they need it. So what we did is we have the sponsor, manager, and team members. We will also create a stakeholder registry because, as I said, stakeholders are very critical in the system, and we are quite frequently going to update them on what's going on in the project. So on the stakeholder registry, I can add anybody else that were not in my team. So when I go to add stakeholder, if these people have been defined before for any other projects, they're already here. So I have like stakeholder example person, and I can say that they are, for example, the organization, company. Yeah, for some reason. Okay. So I can just say this person is in my project. These are their landline connections. I can even create here a basic communications plan. I can say that I'm going to be contacting these people on this frequency via this methodology. So very easily, I can create my stakeholder registry here as well. Okay, so we covered 1, 2, 3, and now we're at the identify and plan the deliverables. So there is a deliverables map, and deliverables here are critical. Why they are not calling it WBS? Because they are not interested in works, but they're interested in deliverables. Our WBS tool gives us different options to create and follow different things. For example, I'm going to focus on the deliverables right now. So I can use this WBS tool just for my deliverables. Again, for the sake of this project, what I did is I created different task types. So I have my deliverable type tasks. I will have my regular tasks like work that will be created by each team member, because as the project manager, I'm not interested in the details. I am the management, and team leaders are the subject matter experts. So they will create their own tasks if needed. Then I will have peer review type of tasks that people will be reviewing my project. And I will have my management items. You will see them. And we can also create some task type for requirements and connect the tasks with the relative requirements as well. So here I have my design delivery, and I have my contract deliveries. I have my implementation deliverables, trainings, and project plan deliverables. Okay. So I have them ready. Now I can go and plan my time as well. And for this one, I hope I did not change anything. For this one, I will be using our own internal Gantt. So our Gantt is very simple and basic, and it brings democratization to the companies. It's so simple that any person, even accidental project managers, can easily learn how to use it. It's very drag and drop, user friendly. You can also allow your team members, stakeholders, everybody involved to see the Gantt. They can even work on it along with you. And you can also see everything at the global Gantt at a portfolio level. So here I can, as I said, by dragging and dropping, I can change the durations. I can also go into the tasks themselves, just click on one and change anything that I would like to change here as well. Like I could change the duration, etc. I will make some connections, relationships. So once my project plan is over, I will find a supplier and I will determine the supplier and sign the contract. And once their contract is over, they will start the design deliverables. And once they're done with it, we will do the implementation. After the implementation, we will be doing the trainings. Okay. Yes. And I will be just saving this. Okay, so I think I did something wrong. I believe it's working. Okay, so you can see that my system is now showing my traditional waterfall Gantt chart view. So I planned my deliverables. I have my project description ready. I planned my Gantt. Now I will be doing the identifying risks and plan responses. So for this one, again, you could technically use a follow-up register. I can show that. Okay. So you can see that here I can just use a very basic Excel sheet. But by utilizing the module, risk module here, I'll be able to follow this on project and portfolio level. So let's go to that one now. And I will just go to my risks. And this is a very basic risk module, but you can make it as complicated as needed for your company risk following. But this is perfect. The basic version is perfect for the P3.express. So I'm going to just say new risk. And here, let's say rain is a risk for us because for whatever reason, we're going to be doing the trainings in an open space. So I'm going to assign this responsible for the risk, and I'm going to make, for example, supply expert because they are going to be doing the trainings. So whoever is closest to the risk is the assigning. I can write the description. If it rains, I will have to reschedule, blah, blah, blah. This is a risk because of this. So what is the probability of raining in the summertime? It's pretty low. What is the impact? It's pretty high because then I will have to do something about it. Category is environmental. Again, these are very standard, but you can always change and modify them as needed. What is the response? Again, we have the standard responses, so I can try to mitigate on a transfer by purchasing insurance or something, let's say mitigate. And I can actually relate this to my deliverables or tasks. So I'm going to say that this is actually related to the providing training deliverable. So I can follow my risks and I can follow them both on the deliverable level, on the project level and portfolio level. And I'm going to write the solution. So it's really easy. At this first stage, we are trying to identify. This is the life cycle of risks. We're identifying as many as possible. Once the project is a go, then we're trying to assess and follow 5 to 10. And then they're going to be controlled or closed, okay? So I have my risks ready, plan ready. And I am going to be doing a plan for budget. So this is again not mentioned, but of most of the projects, we're also responsible for the budget. So I'm just going to create a very easy sample so that we can see how we can plan it here as well. New expense, I will do planned expense, current line, planning. And what I will say here is, for example, I'm going to pay my supplier. I can do these expenses and incomes at the project or task level. Let's do it at the task level as well. And let's say that this is again providing the training expense. And I will be paying them this much. And I will be paying them at the end of March, for example. Again, we can here put a lot of different things saying what type of expense, who is the supplier, so we can later get related. documentations and reports. Okay, so I have everything ready. One thing is that when I'm creating this plan for the project, I will be selecting planned here. So that first of all, the system is going to flag this as a planned project. It's going to stop sending notifications so I can play around as much as I need it. And I can also differentiate the planned projects from the actual ongoing projects, okay? So once I'm ready, then what we will be doing. So we identify the risks. Now we will do the first peer review, okay? So for peer review, I'm going to have my peer reviewers in the project already. I let them know that I'm going to be needing a peer review. And in the system, I just wanted to make it easier for them. So I created a shortcut on the left for health registers. So when they go here, they can see there's a project initiation peer review page. And here they can just select the webinar sample project. They can select like project initiation review. And then they can just follow the survey items here. Like, is there a sponsor about? Is it involved? Avoid, blah, blah, blah. So they're just going to score these. And during this, they can actually go into the project and check all the things that we have created there, because they will have that access. And it's kind of easier for them to actually be in a project, go to the GAT, WBS, etc., maybe versus reading a couple of documents. So once they are done, let's do this. And this health register is created as a peer review type of task underneath my project. And actually I can see the total score, okay? So I can later on, I don't know, send this to my sponsor, assign it to other people, change the status, and just move it along the way, okay? So my sponsors and we sit down together and we make a go, no-go decision. And the project is a go. Now we will need to kick off the project and we will need to do a conduct focused communication. So one of the good things that I like about Redmine is that it's a collaboration tool. So you can, of course, go to your stakeholders list and send people email. But for the people who are already in the project, I can just use the news module, for example, and I can say that we have a new news kickoff event. We can just write here, post pictures, etc. And once I have that information, everybody who is into the system, they will see it on their dashboards. They can see it on the project news area. So we can easily do some communication with the team members as well, okay? So now project started. What are we going to do? We will have cycles. First of all, we will have monthly initiations. At the beginning of each month, I'm going to revise and refine the plans. Is the plans okay? We're working on it. We will have a monthly cycle peer review. And they will each month say that this project, maybe let's pull the plug at this point. So it's also good to not invest too much at the project and try to be able to pull out if necessary. And then we will have focused communications. And we will also start the week and we will do measurings and reporting the performance each week. We will check the plan responses and deviations. We will again kick off the weekly cycle. We will do communications week basis. And on each day, I will be doing risks, issues, and change requests. And I will also check if anything a deliverable is completed or not. So it's very frequent. And how can I make this easier to follow? See on my system. So what I did is actually, when we go to Gantt, I created management item type of tasks. So you can see that each week I have a weekly management item. Each month I have a monthly management item, and each day I have a daily management item. So when I go to my daily management item, and I can go into the details, I can see there are data checklists. I can check the risks, issues, etc., and be done with it. I can always update this task, write any specific notes or comments I have about that specific date. I can mention people, so use this as a collaboration tool to check on certain things. And all of these will be recorded in the history. So it's going to be transparent and it's going to be recorded. And for weekly things, again, I'm going to be doing similar things. Let's go and open up one weekly management item. And we will be able to see what needs to be done. And these are all actually created by the repeating tasks options of a general task. So I just created, I want this to happen each week. I want this to happen daily. And here I can see what I need to be doing weekly. And the similar thing is for the monthly. So what thing that we need to be always following here is there will be changes and there will be lessons learned that I need to be frequently recording, okay? Capture lessons learned, plan for improvements, check, plan and measure the deviations. So there are always changes. We can again just use an easy change request registry form, but in the system, we can actually create a change request type of a task. And here people can say, I have a change, I don't know, change the UX, for example, timesheet UX description, which project we're talking about, and when it's supposed to be done. And these are the change request fields. If necessary, we can also ask them to fill this, okay? So once it's created in my project, and it's created as a change request. And then, you know, we can always put this into assign it to the project manager. They can ask the sponsor, etc. Go and change their Gantt if necessary and do other things. The similar thing is with the lessons learned. People can come here and easily enter their lessons learned. We can even like put the type of lessons learned, categories and things like this. So later on, we can just easily check these. Let's go back to our project. And one more thing that we made it kind of easier to follow everything is at the project, you can see your general project information, your team, health registers, and if we have requirements, we can also see some requirements. We can see the project Gantt easily. We can see all the management items upcoming. We can have a weekly tab like this just to make your life easier. So when we go to the weekly, we can see how many health records are created this week. Oops. What is this week's lessons learned? Change requests. Are there any late tasks? Are there anything assigned for my review? And I have some notifications like, what did you learn this week? Don't forget to register them. So it's kind of also pushing me to write something. I can see my risks easily, and I can just go and update them if necessary. And very similar page for monthly. And again, what values did you learn this week? What's happening? We can also go back to the health register and ask our peer reviews to their monthly review here on this page. And later on, we can all see what's going on with the project. So when we go to our system, now we are end of the project, let's say. So we will project closure. We will hand over the product. We will evaluate the satisfaction, closing activities, peer reviewed, and archive the project documents, and celebrate, and etc. So in our system, how can we close the projects? We can mechanically actually go and close it here. Once it's closed, people can still see the project, but they cannot interact with it anymore. And after a certain time, company policy, we can archive the closed projects. And what actually is a good idea, again, we have the health register before we close, so we can do all this project closure things. So at the end of the day, this system, I can manage my project fairly easy. People can go and work on their systems, team members and others can just easily create their own tasks. So once they log in, they will not only see the daily tasks that are here, but if there's any deliverable and any task that needs to be done will fall into their screens. And this is a portfolio program management tool, as I said. Why we don't do this on separate Excels and Word documents? We would like to actually see everything in one space. I created 2 sample reports. We can always go and see the portfolio reports at the subject. For example, I can go to the risks page, global risks page, and I can see all the risks from all the projects, regardless if they're P3 or not. I can always go and see the global risk registry, which risks are registered on what projects, so I can get inspiration when I'm creating them. But we can also have combined pages. For example, I created one for processes. And when we go here, we can easily see all the health registers in the system in a Kanban board. We can see how many projects are planned or active. The same as we can go and check the change requests. And we can also see them in the change request Excel sheet format if we need to. And we can always export these if necessary to some Excel, similar with lessons learned. And I can also do a PMO report. Usually project management offices are interested in what's going on in the company. So I can have a very generic page with a lot of information on it, and it will first show it for the whole portfolio. Becoming open tasks, what are for this week. We can see the global Gantt, all the projects, and we can even see their actual tasks here, specific tasks here. I can see my expense distribution, task type distribution, risks, upcoming milestone, etc. And I can always just go project by project and evaluate them. That way, nobody has to actually create reports for PMO office. They can just go here and check in a live system. So this is actually how we do P3.express. Let's go back to our presentation. So I will just pass these. We already covered these. And what are the values? So the easy Redmine's intuitive interface makes it easier. And since we wanted to make projects easy, and P3.express is trying to go for easy, I think it's a very good fit. And the focus on results and collaborations, easy reporting is also available. The structured project governance using a database brings value to the P3.express's easy monthly cycles and continuous monitoring, and we can scale it and just use it in however way we need. What are the key benefits? Digital environment, everybody can access. There will be transparency, records, accountability. We will be able to see real-time insights as PMOs. And using a database system, of course, with the P3.express lightweight approach will bring a lot of valuable synergy. So this is all I have. I hope it was clear for you to see. And Yuri, do we have any Q&A questions?
Yes, we actually do. So we have two questions, but I'm pretty sure that people are coming with other, and they are slowly typing them right now because it was really interesting. Thank you for that. And let's jump into these questions. Let's start with the first one from Arthur. Does each member need to get an account and a license into the Easy Redmine?
It depends. I mean, if you would like your team members to access the system, work on the tasks, be active in it, of course, they will be users, and we call them named users. But you can technically make your projects public and people can access anonymously. But in this case, I think it's better to have people as named users. And you can also have a couple of licenses for your, as I said, sponsors, customers, and suppliers. And once they are done with one project, you can just lock their license, and then it becomes available to be used for another person. So you can have a turnaround of 30 people, let's say, and people can leave your company and new people come, suppliers leave and new suppliers come. You can still make use of your 30 licenses by locking the people who are no longer needed.
All right, thank you. So, and there is another question from Andrea. Will you also share this project template? I think we can import in our easy Redmine instance as reference.
Of course, I'm more than happy. We can, I'll check with you really how we can share that, but maybe we can put it on a public domain and people can download and try it.
All right. Pierre is asking, I have a team of 5 techs, sorry. I would be the sponsor for each project. I'm the CEO. Is a P3.express good for us? IT service company here.
I think the way that you should decide on the P3 Express is, first of all, if you're not managing your projects at all, yes, obviously it's going to break you from here to here. If your projects are not life critical or very complex, or if the customer on the other end is not asking for specific, very detailed documentation, if you're free to do whatever you want with the project management, I would personally go for this very easy methodology. Again, if you're not a professional project manager, this is something that you can easily try and learn on. So I'm not familiar with your projects, but 5 people, tech company, it doesn't matter. You can even just be one person and doing your projects. Having a checklist of waking up each morning and what do I need to be doing today is a good idea. And I think P3 Express might be good. So you might want to try it.
All right, thank you so much. So there's another question. Is this P3 Express module an add-on to the default install?
No, actually, I just use the regular Easy Redmine. I use the business module for risk and budget. And everything else is actually in the essential package. So it's just a matter of implementing the system. So you can actually just convert your own Easy Redmine with some additional custom fields and task types, and you can use this. There is not a specific P3 Express module needed.
Okay, thank you so much. Peter says thank you. Okay, you're welcome, Peter. Thank you for the webinar.
My
You're
pleasure.
welcome. And let's jump into the next question. So how are all those tasks, developers, etc. identified? Is there an automatic inherenting numbering like 1.1, 2.1, etc.?
Yeah, there is an automatic ID is given to each entity. So when you create a task, it automatically has a unique ID. However, some companies would like to number things themselves. So we can just say the number, WBS no, deliverable number, and we can just create a custom field for it. Either it can be an automatic numbering or you can just manually enter. So numbering and other things that you would need is super flexible at Easy Redmine.
All right, thank you. And there is one more question. So, hello, can you give examples of a successful project with P3 Express?
At that point, I would like to maybe ask Sevan and Lek if they have experience with the customers, because as I said, we are just implementing the methodology here, but I know that there are some P3 Express experts online as well. Dilek, Sevan, do you have any experience with this type of projects on your company or for your customers?
I think Sevan has.
Okay,
That's
I
why
think.
I'm just waiting.
Let me try to invite Sevan here in
Okay.
into our panel, but Sevan is not here anymore,
Oh
so
my God, so he just
unfortunately.
dropped. Okay, I'm as I said,
Okay.
for this one, maybe we can just you can just contact Dilek and Sevan or myself, and we can just describe some of the successful cases. So sorry for Sevan's absence.
Sevan
Yeah.
says I'm just at the webinar now, but I cannot open up my microphone.
Okay.
So maybe we cannot see him.
Oh, okay.
But as far as I know, there are some practices about P3 Express, since still it is a very new methodology, but many companies are dealing to make it happen, because it is very easy to understand, and it is lightweight and lean. So we didn't talk about the RACI metrics maybe, but you can clearly see the responsibilities and accountabilities, consultants informed, etc. Very clearly. That's why I'm just trying to fill this space for Sevan. Maybe he's here because I know he has some examples. That's why.
Mhm.
All right.
Well, maybe let's just move on to the next question, and
Okay.
if someone can just move. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you,
Okay.
Dilek.
Thank you. Ricardo is asking, do you know if any clients in Latin America had implemented the software, for example, in Colombia?
I actually did some consultancy for Easy Redmine and Brazil. Colombia is not one of the countries that I work with, but there might be some. I think the sales directors, maybe somebody's online, they can just provide some information. But we do definitely work globally, and I do personally provide consultancy and implementation globally. So if needed, we can always reach out to Easy and myself.
Okay, thank you. So, and there's another important question. Is there any limit to the number of WBS elements or tasks, and a limitation to the numbers of dependencies, like 1,000 tasks and 10,000 dependencies in Microsoft Project Web?
Okay, so it runs on a browser, as you can see. So although there are not theoretically no limitations, if you end up using more than 400-500 per project, then your Gantt kind of may slow down, and depending on your server resources, or if you're on cloud. So what I usually recommend my customers is that any project bigger than 500-600, then it's better to break them down to sub projects. And we have a really nice structure, so you can have a project, and the sub-projects can be design part, production part, other parts, and you can still see everything at the top project and manage it just like you can with a single project. Also, you can go to tasks and subtasks, so there is no limitation on that end as well. So I would try to limit my projects to 400-500. That's my experience, but maybe some people are using it with higher numbers.
All right. So, there's another question. What about the requirements management?
Well, requirement management, we used to have a module for that specifically. And if you have a specific need, please contact sales, and they may, help you with that. But normally, without that module, you can still create a task type. And on that task type, you can have any custom fields, anything, and we can always create relationships between different tasks. So a task can have a relation to a requirement type of task, and then you can see the connection, and you can have the reports accordingly. So yes, it's not as effective as a module itself, maybe, but there is a roundabout at how we usually do that. But if you have a specific need, please contact the sales.
All right, thank you. So, then
Someone
we
was
have.
raising his head.
Yeah, I see him finally right now. Hello,
I am
Sevan.
waiting here for ages. So, as an
Hi,
attendee,
Sevan.
it's okay. It's okay. It's a technical issue. Hello, everyone.
So, then we have another question. You said the small to medium projects are suitable for P3.express. Can you give us example, please?
Well, what is a small project? And usually like the number of deliverables, the people you're working with. Like if you're trying to do a development project with hundreds of developers, and like you have epics and all these things, so it might be a better idea to use a different methodology, because just managing that many people would not be considered a medium-sized project. And again, if a project is that big, then the documentation and requirements from the customer end would be definitely different. So it all comes from the customers, since it's a defined scope, kind of a predictive project, it depends on the customer what they would like to see. Usually bigger projects, bigger than medium-sized projects, will have all these contractual requirements that you're supposed to be doing. So you cannot use P3.express in that sense. But if not, you can try.
May I add something here?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
So when we explain P3.express at the trainings and everything, I know there are a lot of parameters like deliverables count or maybe some other things. We usually go from the number of people. So may I share my screen? That's in a quick way.
Yeah,
Am
go
I
for
allowed?
it.
I don't know. No, I'm not allowed.
No, you're not allowed.
I think I have to.
I will. I
Okay,
will allow you.
perfect. Thank
Go
you.
for it.
So This explanation might be answer to one of the questions. There was a question about 5 people company, I guess, an IT company. So that's where I raised my hand. First of all, if they want to manage their projects, and if you have like a 1 to 7 people, as you can see here, these are the number of people, just examples, okay? Not a strict definition, but it's just it may give you an idea. So if you have a team like 1 to 7 people, think it like a Scrum team. Like Scrum is not totally project management, but it's a team management. But if you have a team like 1 to 7 people, you can use micro P3.express. It's way better for you. So this might be an answer for you. Mr.
Yes,
Pierre was,
question.
I guess, his name. And if we think about the projects we can manage with P3.express, we can define them like small, medium, and large. And the number of people are like 20 people of IT development projects. It can be a small project, let's say, and 50 is medium size and 150 is large. And if we come to the mega projects, you can tailor P3.express, but P3.express is not uh, doesn't want to be tailored that much, but so we can use it with large, medium, and small projects. I wanted to show you this, so this can give you an idea.
All right. Thank
One
you.
other thing, I'm gonna share a link to the chat so they can see the case studies of P3.express from either from Nigeria or from Europe, many sectors, banking or healthcare. So they will be able to check it. Thank
Thank
you.
All
you.
right.
That would be
Thank you
great
so
stuff.
much.
Of course, my
And there
pleasure.
are 2 more questions. Really quick question. Who is the founder of this methodology, or who is behind this concept?
Can I answer it?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
go for it.
Okay. So actually everything started like 10 years ago, I guess. I'm not sharing my screen, right? Right now we have the screen.
We see the
Yeah,
P3.express
we can
methodology.
see the
Yeah, we
screen.
can see it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I don't have the JPEG now, so let me explain. Everything started almost 10 years ago. First, there was an idea of having a roadmap for project management to show you how to start, how to, let's say, execute everything, track it monthly, weekly, or daily, then how to close the project. So after 2 years of study, 8 years ago, we had the first version. I didn't know P3.express back then. I know it for 2 years. So 8 years ago, there was this first version. The co-creators of this, let's say, system framework are, first of all, Nader Rat, and the second guy is Frank Turley. And I know there is a core team right now. There are a bunch of other people, but I don't know their names. Sorry. So Frank and Nader, they're also teaching PRINCE2, and they are contributing to some PMBOK versions maybe time to time, but they decided to come up with this idea. And right now we have this version of P3.express, and we also have micro P3.express. In the meantime, this core team also developed a portfolio management system called P5.express. So there are levels here, and they all combine this with a module name called Open Minimalist Modules. So, but the main idea was to have a roadmap to manage the project with the in a minimalist way. Since it's focusing on the essentials of the project management activities, and it's not related to any sector. It's free, like an open source, like Easy Project. Everybody can use it. Everybody can reach to the website, to the resources and everything. And yeah, I am happy
Thank
to
you,
be a
Sevan.
part of it.
Thank you,
Thank
Sevan.
you for
Thank you
this
for
opportunity.
introducing it
Thank you.
to us.
Thank you so much.
Of course, my pleasure.
There is a last question, but unfortunately we are out of the time, and this question is going to be answered via email. No worries. We know about it. So, and That is the end of the entire webinar, to be honest. So I would like to thank to you, all of you who actually made that happen. So Asli, Nilak, and Sevan, thank you so much for joining us and for telling us so impressive and amazing informations and showing us all the details about it. It is really amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Thank
So.
you.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for the organization,
Thank
everything.
you.
Yeah.
Say hi to everyone.
So, and thank you to you guys who actually planned some time, free time for attending these these webinar. And please do not go away yet. Do not actually close the entire webinar because we actually prepared for you the survey at the end. It is gonna jump up on your browsers immediately after I close this webinar. So please give us a feedback, give us your honest opinion. What do you think that we can improve? How was it? How did you like it? Or any other question. So thank you for your time, and I wish you the great rest of your day and enjoy it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.